Now, following from our last example, let's inspect this heading element. So look, this is our panel-heading element. And inside that, we have this div with the class heading and the actual heading label. So this div you see here is what we put in app component. Let me show you one more time. So here in app component template, inside bootstrap-panel element, we have this div with the class heading. Now we use this class as a selector for the ngContent element in panel component. Let's have a look. So here's panel component. And here we have an ngContent with this selector, dot heading. So with this implementation, when Angular finds an element with this selector, in this case, dot heading, it's going to replace this ngContent with that element. And that element, as you saw in app component, is a div with the class heading. So I'm going to copy this back in panel component. At runtime, this ngContent is going to be replaced entirely with this div. Now this markup worked perfectly fine. We had a beautiful bootstrap panel, but sometimes we don't want this additional div here. It's just extra noise in the markup. It would be nicer to have just this heading here, right? So let me show you how you can achieve this. Now back to this ngContent, okay? Let's go to our app component. So I'm going to replace this div with ngContainer. This is another custom element in Angular. So at runtime, Angular is going to take only the content of this ngContainer. It's not going to render this ngContainer element in the DOM. It's not going to be a div or something else. Let's look at the result. So save, back in the browser. Let's inspect this heading one more time. So here's our panel-heading, which is in our bootstrap panel component. Let's inspect this. And now you can see we have the actual heading without any additional markup around it. So if you want to render something without putting it inside a div or another kind of HTML element, use ng-container element in Angular.